Day 9 of the Ho'okipa Kite Surf Pro Maui 2012. Another great morning here in Maui. The sun is out and shining. A pretty significant increase in swell size this morning, Ben, as we look out here. Perfect glassy conditions at the moment. Hopefully we'll be getting some wind filling in this afternoon, but some great surf out here at the point this morning.
Yeah, maybe the first day that we are coming at you with a continued weather pattern from the previous day. Same weather setting up. Looks like the winds are a bit lighter this morning, but the same direction, that typical eastern trade flow. As you said, Sky picking up swell a little bit overnight. Still glassy here on the inside, but as we look out, can't quite see a wind line yet, but the direction of the wind flow looks as if it'll set up for wind this afternoon. Again, forecasts calling for a little bit lighter wind, which wouldn't be too bad, as it was pretty strong yesterday, and the direction perhaps being a little bit more true east instead of a little south component. So even if it's not quite as windy, it might make the conditions actually easier to navigate than yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. We saw some great conditions out here yesterday. Definitely smaller surf than what we saw in the earlier rounds, but getting all the way through that first round of women. And I saw some huge matchups there. Again, Adriana Harla, Muna White, Yalu Longere, some of the standouts definitely of yesterday, and got all the way through, almost through to the end of round 2 of the men, just missing that one last heat, which is actually going to be a really crucial heat. World #1 Patrick McLaughlin coming up against Luke McGillivray. That'll be the first heat on deck as soon as we get competition underway.
Yeah, second day in a row that Patrick McLaughlin, current world #1, goes off as first heat of the day on the water. Psyched to get out on the water, but not necessarily. That first heat of the day sometimes is a tricky one. It kind of sets the standard for the way the rest of the day goes, and with the world title on the line, I know some nerves playing a role with Patri this morning, and again, anxious to get out there and riding, coming up against the young South African Luke McGillivray, which they both have been doing some battle so far this year. And this will be just the next round in the bout that they've been going through this whole year in that battle for the KSP 2012 world title.
Yeah, absolutely. So a really crucial heat there, and that's going to be the battle of the goofy footers. Both those guys riding out here on their backhand. Although Patri has been known to switch stance, he is a Maui local, so predominantly all rights here in Maui. Will be interesting to see if Patri chooses to ride backside and battle it out with Luke, or maybe switch his stance and go frontside, maybe a little bit more suited to the conditions out here at Ho'okipa. So day 9 here, and looking out to the horizon, a little bit of texture out there, but still predominantly glassy conditions here on the inside at Ho'okipa. So yeah, we are going to go into a bit of a holding pattern, I believe, but we will wait to hear official word from our riders meeting taking place down here on the beach at the moment. But check out some of that action.
Yeah, not uncommon, as we've said yesterday, for the wind not really to pick up until that 11, 12 o'clock hour here on the island. Pretty much in the morning, nobody ever thinks about wind, as normally 11 a.m. is the first possible time for you to get out onto the water. So anything before 11 is kind of a bonus that we would get here, because typically it doesn't get windy anyway. Before 11 for the surfers out there, for the fishermen, to have time without wind sport guys on the water. But even typically the trades don't really fill in until that afternoon hour as the island heats up, and that pushes that little thermal activity and bending that trade wind pattern back into the island here.
Exactly. So yeah, let's take a look at some of the action we saw yesterday. Again, a little bit smaller surf, but we saw some great heats go down. So take a little look at that, and we will be back here with you shortly on day 9 of the Ho'okipa Kite Surf Pro.
Looking really fun out there. The wind looks a little stronger, which is pretty good. It's looking like 7 and 9 meter weather, which is pretty sick. The waves are a little smaller, but it still looks really fun, and I'm stoked to get out there. Yeah, there's definitely some really good riders. It's good to see a lot of the guys, the natural footers, on their forehand now, and there's definitely a lot of guys ripping. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how it goes in the top half of the draw. Still want to try and go hard. I'd be stoked to win an event here at such a fun wave, and for me, this is my sort of conditions, and to win an event here would be amazing.
It was good. We finally had like Maui as it's supposed to be, with wind filling in. We had like probably 18 to 20 knots out there, kind of gusty, but it's still okay. And the waves were like on and off. Some heats with some really good sets, some heats not as good, but it was still like fun, contestable conditions. So I think everyone was stoked in the end of the day. In contests, sometimes you gotta be prepared for light wind and bigger waves. You gotta be prepared for smaller waves and with a strong wind, and we had both like in 2 days here. So it's really the ones that can adapt quicker to the conditions are advancing now. The standouts of the day, in my view, were probably Me Too. They had a really good hit. I seen him linking some really good turns, some really solid waves, and also Sebastian from Brazil. He got such a nice way to link turns and keep the flow going. I just love to see him riding. I think the wind is probably like really filling in for the next days, and I think we're having a little pulse of a swell for tomorrow. So I think it's gonna be fun. I'm really stoked to be still in the competition, just to keep on riding here.
As we saw in that wrap-up from yesterday, Kiahi de Boidas, one of the early standouts yesterday, I want to say probably Mitu Monteiro and Ayrton Cotolino, definitely throwing down in the conditions yesterday. And as with most contests, though the wind was a little bit funky on the inside, it took a few heats, I would say, to sort of have the guys really understand the conditions from yesterday. The wind was a little bit shifty, switching around a little bit, and the swell, as it was decreasing a little bit yesterday, kind of breaking in places that were a little bit less typical than a normal day here at Ho'okipa, just due to a little bit smaller surf. But as you saw, still some great rideable waves out there, and these riders proving why they're the best in the world. Exactly.
Definitely a lot shorter rides than we were seeing the day before, not quite as walled up as some of the earlier rounds. But yeah, Ayrton Cotolino, taking a look at some of the scores, the highest heat score total of yesterday, absolutely on fire. Again, like you said, Mitu Monteiro, the whole Brazilian contingent, and these guys all making a charge, most of them into the quarterfinals at this point, just waiting on that final heat from Luke McGilloway, current world number 4, up against world number 1, Patry McLaughlin. That's going to be a huge heat first on deck as soon as we get back underway.
Yeah, and as soon as we do start again, looking at the ladder sky, I don't even see one heat that's not going to be a hotly contested battle. I would say at this point in the game, on the men's side and on the women's side, there is no more easy heats left. There is no more easy path to the championship. In order to continue on in this event, you're going to have to take down somebody who is riding very, very well, and that quarterfinals on the men and the women's side are going to be pretty insane to watch.
Yeah, and coming into the final 2 days of the holding period, tomorrow being the last day, and didn't actually expect to see surf quite this good out here this morning. This is kind of a really nice surprise showing up at the beach this morning, but looks like we're going to get another pulse of northwest energy into later tomorrow afternoon. So if this swell holds strong today, looking at that improving forecast for tomorrow, things look really good to finish this thing up in some really stellar conditions out here at Ho'okipa.
Yep, fingers crossed that we can get through some of those rounds today to set up that epic battle of sort of, I'm not sure what the contest director and head judge will decide for today. Again, it's going to be based on whether or not we get wind enough to hold the contest. Looks like we do have waves aplenty out there, so we'll have to wait and see as the day progresses. For the time being, Again, we are giving you the 9 a.m. call, and word from the beach is that next possible start could be that 11 a.m. hour. So we will step away for the 2 hours, or just under 2 hours in the interim, before bringing you that. And again, as usual, and as we were at yesterday, 11 a.m. could see us back with the start of that men's round 2 heat number 8. Or if not the beginning of the contest, at least an update on the conditions here and what we can expect for the afternoon.
Exactly. So please stay tuned and tune back in at 11 o'clock here for the next call. Hopefully we'll be bringing you some heats. But until then, I think we're going to maybe paddle out for a little surf, take a little break here, and wait for that wind line to hopefully fill in and get action underway here at Ho'okipa this afternoon. So we will see you back here at 11 a.m. local Maui time. This is your 11 a.m. update here from Ho'okipa Beach Park on day 9 of competition. A little bit of texture out there in the water. Just went out for a morning surf, and the waves have come up quite significantly from yesterday, as we said earlier in our call. And yeah, looking like some whitecaps there on the horizon, but unfortunately not contestable yet. So it's another bit of a case of hurry up and wait today, Ben.
Yeah, when we arrived this morning, not a breath of movement, not a breath of air really, and now when we look out sky, we can see a couple of white caps out there. It doesn't look super strong, but again, as the day sort of goes forward and the land heats up a little bit in the valley, perhaps bringing a little bit more of a flow onshore here. We're looking at our contest flags right up here on the point of Ho'okipa, starting to move in the proper direction, and literally within the last couple of seconds just starting to get some air movement coming this way. So pretty optimistic. Again, it is early, as we touched on a bit at the 9 a.m. update. Typical conditions here on the island don't really ramp up until we get into the afternoon hours. So not uncommon for us to wake up in the morning and see it pretty flat out there. If it's absolutely raging early in the morning, you know, it's going to be a pretty wicked wind day. And today, again, pretty smooth this morning, some whitecaps outside, but could be a pretty actually gentle, strong breeze this afternoon, maybe a little bit less offshore than we saw yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday at this time, we also didn't have wind yet. It sort of played tricks with us for a bit coming over the land. It took a while for that breeze to actually pull into shore, but yeah, we are still optimistic that we will get this thing underway this afternoon. So that's that breeze filling in there, and you're chasing me with the mic there. I'm turning my head. And yeah, hopefully get this thing underway. We talked earlier about that next heat coming up. Going to be a huge heat. It's going to be the first kind of upset heat, and looking forward into the quarters, there's going to be a lot more of those to come. But this next heat, first on deck, Luke McGillivray, Patry McLaughlin. These guys are both in contention to win the world title. One of those guys is going down. Yeah,
Patry coming into the event, the current world #1 points leader. We have mentioned before they've gone up against each other a few times. Both of these competitors have beaten each other on tour in heats earlier in the year, so it's going to be, as you said, probably the first of the important heats coming up right off the bat as soon as this contest goes goes live and conditions are good enough to contest. And both with Patrick McLaughlin and Luke McGilly, we were able to catch up with them a bit earlier, get their thoughts a bit about this spot and their position in the current standings. So let's go check out what they had to say a bit earlier.
All right, I'm psyched to have the last contest here at home. I mean, it's great being able to go home at night and sleep in my own bed. And I've surfed out here and kited out here for years already, so I feel like I have a little bit of an advantage. But there's some really good guys on tour, and you never really know what's going to happen in a contest. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. There's some really good kiters coming out of Maui for sure. I'm psyched to have a bunch of my friends in the contest. We're all really competitive out there, just free kiting, so it'll be fun to actually get out there and have some judges. And out here for years already. Hopefully I get to go into some heats against some friends of mine, and it'll be fun. There's definitely more pressure on me out there, coming from Maui and stuff. All my friends and family are here, and they're going to come down for the contest, and they're all expecting me to do really well, so there's definitely added pressure from that. But I don't know, I've just been trying to stay calm all week and really put all the pressure and everything out of my mind and just go out there for the contest. But it'll be cool to have a bunch of support from everybody on the beach. I hope I do well. I really want to win. It'd be cool to take a victory at home, but you never know. For me, riding backside here on Maui, there's no disadvantage for me at all. With the wind direction the way it is, it's really easy for a backside rider to get up and do the same turns as somebody going frontside, if not easier in some cases. And I've been kiting here for 10 years, going right, backside the entire time, so I almost feel more comfortable going backside out here than I would going frontside in Mauritius or somewhere else, just because I haven't really had that much time kiting going left. So I don't know. I don't think it's really a disadvantage for me going backside.
Well, to be honest with you, Hawaii is pretty insane. Since 2006, I wanted to come to Hawaii since I started kiteboarding because it was the mecca. And so yeah, finally being here, I've had some good surfs, some fun kites. It's good to be in warm water again. In Cape Town, yeah, we do primarily get lefts, and we do get the odd occasional right. So I don't really ride too much right. And coming to a keeper, my first day in Portugal, I wasn't so comfy on my backhand, and after watching the guys and learning a few techniques, and in Mauritius, I'm kind of getting comfortable on my backhand. So getting here, it's really good to be able to get more vertical. In Portugal, I've looked like a complete idiot, and now I'm getting more comfortable with throwing myself up backwards, not looking at the wave, which is a lot better than I was. Yeah, well, when I got to Portugal, I thought I was better than I was. So when I saw the other guys riding, it gave me a big wake-up call. And fortunate for me, there was no wind in Portugal, so it just kind of kept us all level. And when I got home to Cape Town, I trained really hard for the next few months for the next event in Mauritius, and I pushed my level up a lot in a few months than I have in a year. So it was a big learning curve for me, and getting to Mauritius, I felt a lot more comfortable, and I'm still feeling it out a bit, getting used to my backhand and all of that. So I think next year is going to be my year to push it hard. For sure, I was quite surprised when I got the email saying that I'm in the running for the first place. So for me, it was a rookie year, so I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to feel it out, like you said earlier, and see what I could do, and hopefully push through next year. And so when I got the email, I was very surprised, and I'm quite keen to see how I do here. If I do really well, I'm going to be stoked, and it's my first proper backhand event, so I'm going to be pushing it hard out there, hopefully.
filling in out there, but looks like it's sort of still playing games with us out there, Ben. I think we're going to have to continue into this holding pattern until the early afternoon.
Well, that's right. Up to this point, it's been a complex game of chess between us and the wind, and so far they have us in a checkmate position. Sitting around waiting for our chance to get out there. Looks like there are whitecaps pushing their way in, Sky, but as you said, it's back to the waiting game for at least 1 more hour is word from the head judge, contest director. Hopefully back with you with live action at that 1 p.m. start of the heats. But until then, looks like we're going to be hanging out here high-fiving each other for the next hour.
That we are, Ben. So we'll be back with you here live on KSPWorldTour.com in just under an hour from now at the 1 p.m. mark here local time in Maui. Some whitecaps filling in out there. Great waves on offer. If you missed our morning show this morning, we caught up with Luke McGillivray, world number 4, and Patrick McLaughlin, world number 1. They're going to be on deck in that first heat coming up, the last heat of men's round 2. So plenty of action still to come. Heading into the quarterfinals, some crazy matchups. As soon as this wind fills in, we are going to have some great action out here at Ho'okipa. So please stay tuned, and we will see you back here in just under an hour from now at 1 p.m. on Maui.
Extra large shaka.
Aloha. This is your 1 p.m. update here from Ho'okipa State Park. Still waiting on wind out here. That wind line seems to have almost backed off back out to the horizon there, Ben. We still have flow in the correct direction here, but looking like it's going to be a late one, if at all, today.
Yeah, anticipating putting this on hold for another hour until first possible start again. That's probably going to be a 2 o'clock start for the competition if it gets windy by that moment in time, and if not, we of course will be with you here live with updates, weather forecasts, wind charts, swell charts.
We got it all going on. We got all of our technology keeping up to speed on whatever the forecast is dishing out, but at the moment it looks like not much on offer out there besides some great waves. The competitors out here keeping busy, going out for some surfs, and great waves, but we do need that wind component to help us out to get this thing underway. So we are going to take another hour break. We'll be back at 2 p.m. with the next update.
So that'll do it for us for the 1 p.m. update here at the 2012 Ho'okipa Kite Surf Pro. See you in just under 1 hour from now.
of Hokipa Kite Surf Pro. Some great waves rolling in here. Actually looks like the swell's improving, maybe even the first traces of that northwest that we're going to see tomorrow. However, unfortunately at the moment still not windy out there, Ben. A beautiful day nonetheless, but not much in the way of wind here this afternoon at Hokipa.
Yeah, Sky, we were talking a bit yesterday, we were touching a bit on the forecast sort of improving over the last and final day, to being tomorrow, day 10 of the waiting period. Looks like that's still holding true. Today was kind of the iffy day in between good conditions that we had yesterday, and then sort of a continuing trade pattern for all of next week, starting tomorrow. Again, that swell, as you said, probably starting to show up just about now, but that wind kind of strobing in, strobing out, and kind of backing off now that it looks like we won't be able to get that contest off, at least when we wanted to at 2 p.m.
Yeah, if anything, it's going to be a really late start today. Probably, at best, going to get a couple of hours of competition and hopefully set ourselves up nicely to finish this thing off in what looks to be pretty good conditions tomorrow. The forecast is looking great for strong wind and some new swell filling in. So hopefully get some heats underway this evening, afternoon. But if not, it's just going to be a long day of competition tomorrow. And can't wait for some of those matchups. It's going to be insane.
Yeah, it looks like we have between 4.5 and 5 hours to be able to complete the ladders tomorrow and crown champions for not only the 2012 Hokipa Kite Surf Pro, but also the overall 2012 KSP Tour Championship will be done tomorrow in due time. Again, 4.5 or 5 hours is all it's going to take, and based on current gotten geared up and energy for tomorrow. And man, everybody here just excited to get this contest underway. And looks as if the forecast for tomorrow is going to stay true. It's increasing swell as the afternoon progresses. The wind should be here beginning actually overnight and strong in the morning from the get-go. So word from the head judge and contest director is they would like to get this thing underway at 10 a.m. tomorrow, if at all possible. So giving us great ample time to sort of discuss possibilities, matchups as we come to you live tomorrow at 9 a.m. is when you'll see us here on the beach for tomorrow with the latest updates, and hopefully we'll be coming to you with the good news that heats are underway soon. But again, just to reiterate, contest called off for the day for the 3 p.m. call, and we will see you here bright and early tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Until then, we're going to enjoy the rest of this brilliant sunny afternoon here on the island of Maui, and wherever you find yourself, please enjoy your morning, evening, the rest of your day. Until tomorrow, 9 a.m. Mahalos.